Welcome everybody out there in Lettuce Land. We love you so much. We're going to take a virtual listen through our new album, Resonate, which came out May 8th. And we're happy that you're here. We're going to talk a little bit about each song. Thanks so much. Let's get it started, Zoe. This just kind of reminds me of a beginning of one of our shows. It's just setting the funk off. You hear Schmeens come in with the classic line. I think when Deitch, probably when you wrote this, you were thinking, let's set off a show, and that's what we've been doing with it. So it just brings me back to a feeling like a specific show. Nigel, you said Vienna, right?
Vienna, yeah.
Nice. So just starting a show with that just feels good, you know? So
I remember one of the things that we did in the studio, Deitch, when we mixed this. We came up with that whole drum break section with the claps.
Mm-hmm.
And we muted the band and created a drum loop and added all kinds of percussion and claps right before the solo, and it gets real funky. And this is also the second time we recorded this song. We recorded this song when we recorded all the songs for Elevate, and we also recorded this for this Resonate session that we did.
That was our first ever recut. We never had a recut before in the history of Let.
We had one recut. The only other recut is the one that goes, say,
uh-huh. And that was due to vibe, right? Us trying to create the best vibe of all time.
I'm trying to recapture the vibe from a while back.
Knowing it could be vibier or more vibey.
I think all of us here right now is a vibe.
And what's this song called, guys? Hey, guys, what's this one called?
Oh,
good.
Who's Huffin'? There's a little saying we say in Let It's called Who's Huffin', Who's Raging?
Oh, so now that we've
established.
now that we've raised the stakes.
You know, morning, Mr. Schminkel.
Easy for you.
Morning, Mr. Schminkelhuffer is like that time for us. We're on the tour bus, and maybe some cats who stayed up all night are still up in the back, raging, and then I'm up, and I'm raging.
Uh-huh.
Two worlds collide. And all of a sudden, it's good morning, Mr. Schminkelhuffer, everybody.
Yes.
And good morning going with a little pump and energy. And
yeah, for those that don't know, Schmeens is an early riser, naturally. Yeah. He like no matter how late he stays up, you know, from a show the night before, he is up at 8 or 9 a.m. and he's ready to rage at 9 a.m. Whether it's dabs with Schmeens or it's listening to music or discussing the news or current events. And sometimes me and Jesus are just about to go to sleep from working on some music the previous night.
Yes.
And we have to somehow merge those two worlds and welcome Schmeens into the day as he sends us off into our slumber.
Full disclosure, Deitch and I are usually pretty nervous about seeing Schmeens at that. And Schmeens is so loving and kind about it.
Well, he's got that morning energy, that excited day energy, and we're at the end of our energy.
Yes.
And so it's this beautiful world colliding, and that's why we came up with this song. I would like to say that also that this song definitely has a lot of our influence of Tower of Power, and we'd like to send them a huge shout out for influencing us to make music like this. And yeah, shout out to Tower of Power.
Shouts.
Yes. David Garibaldi, Rocco. I feel like if we don't say their names right now.
Chester, the greatest.
Emilio.
Yep.
Chester.
Yeah. Oakland. Changed my life when I first heard Tower of Power. I was in a music store. I had just taken one of my first guitar lessons, lessons of music. And the old dude that worked there put on Tower, put on Squib Kicks, and I'd never been the same since that moment.
Chester.
The way that the low Barry and the bass were working, and the syncopation between David Garibaldi on the drums and Rocco and the
Chester,
thank you.
Me and Ryan are the only guys in the band that actually studied with members of Tower of Power.
So amazing.
And Ryan studied with the great Lenny Pickett, and I studied with the great Dave Garibaldi. I had one lesson. How many lessons did you have at Lenny? One, right?
I had one, yes.
I had a lesson from someone, thank you.
I saw...
Who knew you only needed one gig with him to be the greatest in the world?
I saw Tower of Power when I was 12 at
Me too.
Portland. My music teacher took me to Tower of Power.
Speaking of that, though, it's something we are doing, Let Us Teach. We might as well say, like, I had a lesson with John Patitucci when I was a kid, and like you said, one lesson, I think the inspiration from the lesson, being around the person, being in the same room, playing my instrument with that person, it was enough inspiration and motivation to keep playing till right now, until for the rest of my life, just to be around someone that great and to get lessons. And so we are doing Let Us Teach. If you guys want to get down, we are teaching lessons. But I think those crucial lessons are just, it's something that'll change your life forever. You take the right lesson with the right guy that really teaches you something, and you learn and you actually get better. There's something awesome about it.
Well said.
Yes.
Very well said.
Yeah, that's
Here. Why was that necessary?
Nailed. Definitely nailed.
Why was that a little
right into the microphone, man. Come on, bro.
Nigel.
You better not tell anyone to back off their mics anymore today.
Nigel, will you talk a little bit about Mr. Dugu Chancellor?
Dugu's probably the greatest drummer that no one knows who he is. Like, he's played with Michael Jackson. He played on Billie Jean. That's him playing drums.
What is your favorite performance of his on George Duke?
The Oral. Well, shit, all of them really.
And then Let It Go. You know, Let It Go.
But the Oral Will Prevail is probably my favorite.
Wow.
You know, how you and I hook up on things sometimes, Deitch? Mm-hmm. You know, George and Dugu, like, they were boys.
Yeah.
Like, they were boys outside of music, too,
yeah,
like we are.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hear a lot of that when there's George and then Dugu on the same gig. It's gonna be a mess, and it's gonna be a beautiful mess because you know what I'm saying. They friends, and that's you know, like I say all the time, the best music ever made is gonna be with your friends. You know, but he played with George Duke, Quincy Jones, Patrice Rushen. Everybody, Michael Jackson, he had his own thing. I mean,
and he played with Herbie. I saw a video with him with Herbie Hancock.
He played with Herbie, yeah.
And when I saw the video, he was doing this dance. He was going, get to get to, and he's just playing it. And Herbie was
just showing his ass too. He's funny. He a funny dude too. So he was, you know what I'm saying? Right. Funny style sometimes.
Yeah. So you know, and Herbie was just starting to do the dance with him because he was watching Dugu, and they all started having the shoulder shimmy, and I was like, this is a groove right here that needs to live on, like other than just YouTube concert, you know, like. So I just kind of like I sat with the drums for an hour to try to figure out what he was playing, and try to conjure that, and then writing the tune was easy once that beat was in place. You know what I mean? I don't always start with the beat, but with Lettuce, I kind of do a lot, because if I don't have a solid brand new beat, then what's the point? You know?
Yeah.
So,
this is a great point, Deitch. Talk about how sometimes the beat helps really. People don't talk about drums writing the song, but writing the song from a beat is such a beautiful thing. Like even just to go off topic, kind of, but Nyack was written around a beat. A Back in Effect was written around a beat. These beats are so part of the song, and it's so important that, like, it's just a great thing to talk about, man. Can you expand on that a little?
well, I think signature beats are everything. Signature parts in general, like,
Yeah.
you know, he has to come up with a signature guitar part, you know? And like, I think if we all have signature things, then it works together like a puzzle, and it stands the test of time, you know. And I felt like the Dugu beat was a signature beat, and it was by Dugu Chancellor.
You know, I use that song as an example in a couple of my lessons for writing, where I try and show them that the hi-hat part and that the guitar part that you came up with are completely connected, right?
Within the drum beat and the snare and the kick and the hi-hat and what they're doing and the ghost notes, I can hear the whole tune. I can hear Benny's part. I can hear Zoe. If you listen closely to the drums, Jesus' bass line is in that beat. Shmeen's guitar part is in the beat, you know. So that's just how I'm just bringing it out.
It's just it goes. Yes, well said. It just I think a lot of times bass lines and keyboard parts and those things get a lot more credit as having signature parts of the song, but drum beats and percussion parts are just the same as all the rest of those things.
This is gold. Cool. Also, shout out to Tony Allen and Fela Kuti. You know, Tony Allen just passed, and this is a huge nod to Fela Kuti as well. You know, and just the power of their horns and using the pentatonic scale with power and straight. You know, and that call to arms, bum 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 bum. You know, it's like get it. You know, like
and
time
unison,
to get it.
The bass and the horns playing unison, melodic line that is the bass line too is beautiful.
Right. You got to give Zoidus something powerful to play. He's going to get bored back there. You know what I mean?
Well-written song.
Crush
this one. Very well written.
It would behoove you.
Big Tony's in the house. Add a little bit of that trouble funk with some letters, baby. You got yourself a checker record. That's right. What y'all know about that right there? Time to get up on the floor and do what you gotta do, baby. We got a party going on in here.
Shout out to Big Tony. Shout out to Jungle Boogie.
Washington, D.C. Represent.
And shout out to our friend Derek, who actually introduced us to them.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, Derek?
You know what I mean?
One of us cheers from DC. What up, Nigel?
Shout out to Nigel for being you know.
Let it ride.
Yeah, my brother used to come home with the tapes. It was a whole kind of, not gonna say tradition, but like, you know, that's just kind of how go-go circulated, was the tapes.
That was the culture, the tape.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? They just record the
tapes came from where, Nigel? Would they record the tapes live at the go-go?
Record the shows. And
come
have certain tapes for certain shows. You know, and the go-go tapes were the ones that were the hot commodities, and that's kind of why it never left DC.
It couldn't get outside.
I'm just saying, like, it's probably I'm just saying, like, you know, like hip hop started in the Bronx, you know, and it's a worldwide thing.
Hip hop had corporate interest, and go-go didn't.
Started in New Orleans. It's a worldwide thing.
Hip hop started with tapes. Tapes were a huge thing. I mean, even Grateful Dead had tapers and tapes. Tape community changing tapes. That's like one crazy similarity between the hippie or beatnik or free loving Rainbow Children, however you want to split that. You know what I mean? Like
It definitely is a connection. Tapes, you know, and
connecting to the Grateful Dead and hippie 70s kids
Yeah, the
and
hip
Earth,
hop.
Wind and Fire kids. You know what I mean? Like there's a connection there with tapes too, and sharing, community-based sharing, music sharing passed down through. Your homie came over and played you something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Came over and played you something. You didn't hear it any other way. Someone came to your house and played it. I never heard of that tape.
No, that was it. That was it.
Yeah, I have a backyard
to go to a
tape.
go-go one time. I went to a
You got
go-go
an actual tape?
once.
You got an actual tape, Deitch?
Yeah.
You got the tape?
I had a backyard tape, a couple backyard band tapes. You know?
Like the actual cassette tape
Yeah, cassette
from
tapes.
DC?
Yeah,
I think I remember.
they got to New
What
York.
year?
They got to New York. It was later. It was like 2000 or something. You know, but like, you know,
That's awesome.
they were around. People had them.
Who gave it to you? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It might have been Juju. Like when I was in DC with Average White Band, and I drove around the city with Juju.
Yeah.
Shout out to Juju.
When I got to New York, I started playing at the Groove. I was a regular house musician there, and across the street they had Bob's record shop. I think which record shop was it, Nigel? Do you remember which one that was? Bob's.
Wait,
It's
where?
across the street
Dugu.
from
Groove
the
in New
Groove,
York.
from
Not
Blue Note.
Bob's. It was the one right across the street.
Oh, Bleecker Bob's.
Bleecker Bob's, yeah.
Street.
That Bleecker Bob's. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
Bleecker
yeah,
Bob's, yeah.
I used to just go across the street.
I was so mad when they shut that
Go
place down.
to the, he had the funk section. He had the fusion section.
And he had a decent fusion section too. Not
Totally.
many people have that. Like
You could listen to the records in there, right, with the headphones, and in the funk section were Trouble Funk records, and I think I bought all of them. I bought.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I really like dove.
Yeah, Shmeens, you played me Trouble Funk for the first time. And I was bored. You had a Trouble Funk tape, actually.
I bet he
Wow,
did.
It was a tape.
I probably got that from Deitch.
I knew it from Drop the Bomb by Brand Nubian, because I looked on the sample and I was like, what's this? Trouble Funk. So that's why Drop the Bomb became my anthem. And then they sampled "Don't Walk Away" from the R&B song was
that's my
huge.
shit. Yeah,
So that was all Trouble Funk. That's all Trouble Funk.
Not a bad time
You know
to
what?
talk about.
You know what? I
Yeah,
tell you what.
yeah.
When I went to my first go-go, I was like 13 years old. And I saw Rare Essence at Rock Creek Park.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Bro, it was the most. It was like
That
You
might
know
have
how-
been Jungle Boogie.
you know how when you come to New Orleans and you see a real and legit second line. You know what I'm saying? And
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The
That's
I
what it
wish-
is.
connection.
Shout
That
out,
connection.
shout out.
Which kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's
I gotta
almost,
say-
it's almost a curse and a blessing because DC is like they just declared go-go the national music, the official music of Washington D.C.
I
You know
gotta
what
say
I'm saying?
shout out, Naj. I gotta say shout out to Cy Smith because my first ever gig after Berkeley when I got out of college was playing with Cy Smith, who's from DC, and
Yep.
she's one of the baddest cats ever.
Cy is the
sang
baddest.
scenes with
Shout out to
everyone.
Cy Smith.
I gotta send her a song.
And she took me to DC, and Ty and I got to go. My brother Ty, shout out Ty. Ty was playing drums on it, and we got to go through Rock Creek Park to the Black Hole and went to a go-go, and it was lit, and it was way different than
It
we
was
thought
beautiful though. It's nothing like going
Yeah.
to a go-go
Incredible.
and
Incredible.
going to a go-go outside in July, summertime in DC.
Right.
You
This
guys-
was at winter time, and it
Totally.
was like they searched you, and it was awesome. It was lit. It was so legit.
You guys realize Jesus is still
Like
frozen, right?
2002.
Traditional music, like maybe Second Line has become like a worldwide thing, whereas go-go is just starting to become a worldwide thing, even though hip-hop made it a worldwide thing. But go-go really never got the credit,
Yeah, never got it.
That's why I love working with Big Tony and Jungle Boogie.
But
Because
you know what though?
They deserve all the credit. They
There's
deserve the
there's something special about that because it's almost like cool. If it doesn't leave DC, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll make it more realer.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
They deserve
Totally.
to shine, and I love turning our crowd,
There's actually
y'all
pride
out
in
there
that, you know?
onto
I agree with that, Nigel. It's something about culture. It's really important to respect cultures and not be a culture vulture, as you've heard before. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
This is very, very important. That, like, you know, it's important. Traditions. It's about heritage, and it's about human beings, and it's about lineage, and like people's real lives and their real feelings and what they've been through and what their ancestors have been through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not something to be just, you know, tossed around and thought of willy-nilly. These things have to have respect. As simple as I can say it is how I want to say that. It's like you have to have respect for the people to play and even attempt to play these musics. And it's cool to, you know what I mean, listen to it and get joy from it. And that's what we, you know, it's all about what you know, your respect for the people, you know.
So yeah, this joint slamming.
I love this song. This is one of my favorite songs to play.
This song has a little bit of like Bob James in there.
I was about to say I could do my Bob James.
Yes, it's one of our first like where the Rhodes is playing the melody.
Yeah.
You know, like
that's CTI Bob right there, bro.
You know, as we all write, we all learn like everyone should have melodies. You know, like Schmeens takes this part of the melody, and then the horns take this part, and then it's Rhodes, and then it's trumpet. Like we're trying to just disperse that melody. You know,
right.
Mm-hmm.
This song is an example of that technically, but I don't know.
And it's a great example of smoothing it out without like making it too soft, where it's like it's still hard, but it's mellow. You know what I mean? I like that.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? It's not easy to do. You want to have something kind of on another tip. You not just be crazy funk in your face all the time, like we do loud, high volume funk. We play normally high volume funk, but then you want to smooth it out sometimes without like going all the way soft.
Yeah, it's a chance for us to play pretty but stay funky.
Yeah,
right.
We needed it in our set for sure. We needed a joint like this.
All else fails.
A great use of space.
Yes,
that's right.
Another well-written Adam Deitch composition, if I do say so myself.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes like what Benny's doing right now, silent is the best thing to do.
What's up, yo?
Check that loop.
Yo, check out this new pedal I got, you guys.
Whoa.
Yo! I can listen to those remixes all day. Just lose it.
Is it a synth pedal or something?
What does that do?
I don't know. I don't know.
No.
I gotta plug this thing in immediately. What does it do? Who knows? Yo, I got other shit to show you guys too. Look at this, show and tell time. Look at this Strat. You guys see that?
Fire.
You see that strap? Yo, you see the beadwork going on right there?
Yo, that's ill, dude. That's amazing.
It's got a dove
We just had reverb.
And then a river, and then a fire, and then a lion. It's a traditional Native American beadwork by my friend Jenny. She made it for me. It's pretty sick.
Wow, so dope.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. Tripping on it. This song has a surprise ending too. What's up? Loop the endings.
Water.
Water, drink it. Drink it. Water, drink it. I got the Flow alkaline water going today.
Dope.
What? Oh, nice.
What curve?
Hey, Bloom.
Fusion.
Ding, ding. Good enough. Let's just begin with the story really quick. We're all on tour together, and I believe I was with one of you. Maybe I was alone, but I think I was in Nashville, Tennessee, when I walked into a pawn shop just to look at the music gear. You know, sometimes you do that when you're on tour. You're bored. You got days. You know, Nigel is the king of looking at music gear on tour, I think.
I would have remembered this. I wasn't there. That's as cool as means.
So they had a used sitar, and I ended up buying that. And I had a couple broken strings, and I had no idea how to tune it. So the next day, now we go to Austin, and so I look up a sitar player, and it happens to be Indrajit Banerjee, and we have a connection together, and we know a lot of the same musicians, and
cool.
He knows of Lettuce, and he's heard some of our music before, and we end up hanging out, and he shows me how to tune. He gives me a free lesson, and
cool.
Ends up sending me a real sitar that's playable, which was like the kindest thing ever. And when Deitch brought this demo to us, I was like, yo, I have this idea. Maybe we can get Indrajit on it. And it ended up, he was able to do it. We were lucky enough to be blessed by his presence on this track. And
nice.
You know, I think this is pretty exploratory as far as Lettuce goes, and I hope you really enjoy it. So without further ado...
I was watching this Bob Weir documentary, you know, trying to learn some history, you know, about that side of the game, you know, San Francisco scene and psychedelics and all that.
Great doc.
And while they were experimenting with psychedelics, they were listening to Indian music. They're listening to Ravi Shankar all the time. Like, so there's that connection between the dead scene and Indian music, and we just wanted to put a little like hip hop and funk up in there too, with the beat, and kind of combine all those beautiful elements together. Commonly when Americans think of Indian music, they think of Ravi Shankar and traditional classical Indian music, but there's a whole nother scene in India started by the Sikhs, and it's called Bhangra music. And it's been called the hip hop of India. If you haven't heard it, check it out. It's type in Bhangra mix, and so that beat is my beginner's version of a Bhangra beat, and we Jay-Z has songs with Bhangra beats on it. Like it definitely, you've heard it before. It's just this is a kind of like our version of it, I guess.
I think we were all together right at Berkeley, or a lot of us were at the Tree Locker 2 show. At least me, Zoe, and you guys were all there, right? Tree Locker 2 show at Berkeley. It changed my life for sure. A couple different Indian artist performance really changed my life. Tree Lock being one of them. And we all just kind of left there together. We're like, oh, you saw that? You were there? Wow. I don't know if we were all sitting together, but we saw each other afterwards and was like, yo, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tree Lock's dope. And then I kind of always listen to Tree Lock. Since then, I've always just listened to Tree Lock. It's like a part of my life where I'll go on the beach and just listen to Tree Lock for a few hours, kind of a thing.
Was that during the 5 week or was that during college?
I don't know. I think college maybe was one of the cool things that happened when we got back after the 5 week.
Yeah.
That was dope.
I've listened to Tree Lock since I was 15 years old. I love this concept.
Yeah. And then you got Zakir Hussain, which we should totally talk about Zakir's influence on all of us. And just as soon as you hear that, that was a life-changing moment for me too, hearing Tree Lock.
Remember that Zakir Hussain
Zakir
listened to? That was like the fusion-y record with the bass player, electric bass
player.
Yeah. He played with McLaughlin. He played with everybody, man.
And a drummer, and it's someone on kit. It was ridiculous.
Jai, yeah.
That record was nuts.
He's on hundreds of records, man. He's the greatest. He's like God's gift to toddler.
There's a whole era, or not even just an era. There's just a whole scene of like fusion music that's heavily Indian influenced, and with a lot of the legends of Indian music playing fusion with some of the legends of fusion.
Yeah. You ever heard that record, Love Togetherness?
Yeah.
It means I don't know if you've heard it, but if you haven't, you should.
Let's look it up. Yo, somebody look that up. What's it called?
Do it again.
You've heard it before?
Yes.
Yeah. Amazing record.
Dynamite.
Ready? This was a jam that happened, and I remember it happening.
I remember it too. Zoidus.
And I remember when I was playing, I just play melodic and play it 4 times, and then try
that's why I love playing in this band, because we can go to the studio and play one song and groove on that for 20 minutes and not move. I love that shit.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
I am proud to say this is one of the very first ever completely improvisational, one of the first ever completely improvisational joints that we've ever done as a band in the studio, and it's something that is the basis of who we are as a band and who we are as brothers. and as a team of a band is making stuff up together. You know, I think that's where we started out. I think the first time we ever played, we had like one song. We played like a 4-hour show. So I think that that's really important to mention that we've actually gotten to do that in the studio this time. And it's a wonderful thing. It's called Mr. Dynamite.
Yeah, it's a milestone moment for the band, captured beautifully. You know, and I really, you know, it sparked my interest to really make a record that's all improvised from beginning to end.
Yeah. And this is that record. That's so nice.
That will be called Let Us Vibe.
That's right.
Yeah. Let us be stoked.
Oh, so we didn't do any overdubs on this or anything, by the way.
Really?
Nice.
Oh, no, you did it. You sent it to DJ from Jaw Gems, and he
did Shaker on it in the mix session. Yeah.
Well, that's why it's crushing.
Remember, you were feeling like it needed some glue.
But there's no overdubs from anybody else in the band besides just that Shaker from DJ, right?
Shout out to DJ from Jaw Gems. I forgot. That's
right.
Yeah, shout out Jaw Gems.
DJ Cronus.
I think each album we're always trying to capture like more and more of that live feel of what we do, and this is definitely maybe the pinnacle of so far of us being able to capture that real let us thing that happens with us live, you know, for real.
Let us jam. Yeah, you're right, Shmeens. Yeah, you're right. Ooh. Oh my God, the loops are so good.
Finally got it raised.
Raise.
Oh, here we go.
Love this bass line. Jesus, that reminds me of the Humpty Dance a little bit.
You know, that's crazy, bro. I was thinking. I remember when we did this jam, like it was 1 second ago, to be honest with you, and I remember thinking extreme '90s hip hop bass lines of my favoritisms, which some of them sampled little pieces of dope jazz records or Black American music, as we now know it today, of records that people call jazz, whatever, you know what I mean? Like early American music, Black American music. And they just had a lot of samples, and where that's that triplet, the dome boom. I was thinking of some like Ed O.G., or I was thinking of like Akinelli, or like Large Professor. I was really thinking Large Professor, and how close can I get to that in this moment while we're recording live improvisation?
What sets us apart from you know, just trying to be a straight up funk band is that you're always thinking of hip hop bass line, how to hip hopify a certain situation. You know what I mean? And like that juxtaposition of you thinking like that and Shmeen's doing his thing is what that's why I love the most. You know,
I think that that's a good topic to talk about, because you got a lot of funk as being the eyes were open to funk to me and to a lot of us through hip hop, and early hip hop exposed what I may have never found out, or we may have never found out about how to go dig super hard for James Brown like we do now. But hip hop, before I heard any of it in that, I mean, there was times I heard some of it from my father and older generation. We heard a lot of it in different places, Earth, Wind, and Fire and whatnot. But where I got my real funk training was hip hop, and I think it's the same for a lot of us, you know, because of the great sample, the great work by people like Pete Rock and Jay Dilla, the great, amazing, hard, gave their lives, all the energy of their lives, from Mir to searching out these great funk records and great records and taking these amazing pieces of them. And I think, you know, honestly, as someone that, if you want to study funk music, I recommend studying hip hop and studying the great hip hop records, that because you can hear a little piece of that. You know, to me, to practice along with the bass line, it's already looped, so it's 2 bars, is a lot more simple, especially when I was just a child and I didn't know how to play a full bass line. I just needed something that could loop that little part so I could get it, you know? And that really changed my life forever, and it opened up funk to me. And now I can play the bridge. Now I know where the bridge is, you know?
Opened up the funk.
So why is this song called Mr. Dynamite?
We thought it sounded like James.
Here
It's got a monorail. It's got a JB's monorail hue to it.
Oh, also, this is the only song that I play effects on to the whole album.
Really?
Kidding? No kidding.
I don't think anyone even hears it in there, but it's there.
In fact,
Oh yeah.
You got
I hear it. It's dope.
I like it.
You paid for
Ryan.
Bad job.
You have
Hey, Jamie.
We enjoy ourselves, you know?
Nigel, can I ask you a question?
I could say,
Yeah, Nigel, what is Earth, Wind, and Fire to you? What is Maurice White to you?
Well, you see,
I just want to hear that answer.
It's the fabric of my being, bro. It's the fabric of my childhood, and when I was growing up and getting interested in records, and reading liner notes when I was young, and just listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire is the black version of Steely Dan. If you had to look at it that way, that's what it is. You know, like Earth, but like, you know, they were way ahead of their time, and a lot of their music still is very, very relevant. And I'm glad we picked this one because it's not one that everybody would expect to hear.
yeah.
And we are also educating and encouraging people to look to those songs and find that catalog of music, because nobody really knows about that first part of Earth, Wind, and Fire, which is kind of my favorite.
Time record.
That showed how innocent and sincere they really were, and they was making some real. Wasn't nobody making music like that.
No.
You know, open our eyes, man. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Really unique, incredible.
Nobody was making music that deep and that so in tune with spirituality and cleanliness and wholesomeness.
Yeah.
This is from the Last Days in Time record, I believe, right, Nigel?
Being in touch with the things that you know are right.
That's right. You can feel in your heart.
Can I ask you a part
It was a love song.
question?
You always learn something spiritual, and you also learn something that you can take with you.
Yeah.
Nigel, how do you approach as a vocalist doing both Maurice and Philip parts? Excuse me.
When I recorded it, everything was one take. I think all of those tracks, the background vocals.
Not overthinking it, right?
One take.
Throwing down.
I'm just gonna do me, you know.
Well, plus we've been playing this song for a long time. We've been playing this song for years, right?
To do like you know, Maurice, and to answer your question, to do like Maurice and Philip, you know, the vocalist has to have pretty decent range. I'm not saying I have the greatest
Right.
no, but
I used to give you shit during the show, Nigel, if you didn't do the save. What's the part?
children, keep your
Praise God.
I used to give you that disappointed
thanks.
look. I'd be like, you know, I can't do it tonight.
every night. Do you want me to sing?
You don't want that look.
Want to sing?
You don't want the look.
You want to sing it?
Shit.
Yeah.
I remember when we lived together, Deitch, you and I, we shared an apartment, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you came home. I already knew we were both huge Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I knew that you were even more into Earth, Wind, and Fire than I was, which was a lot. And you came home one day with the tape of Last Days and Times, and you go, and you came back to our crib, and you go, and we're in the kitchen, you're like, yo, I found an Earth Wind song I never heard, and you were just freaked out about it. We checked it out. We listened to it like 1,000 times in a row, and we were like, "What is this amazing song?"
It probably sounded so good on tape. Too.
On tape, it was like
I remember that day, dude.
And I was already diehard. It was just like
Die Hard. You were
to
like,
find that was like finding the
Yeah.
lost record, like Last Days in Time. Like, please go listen to Last Days in Time, y'all. You know,
That's a great record. Oh.
but the sound of it, we
amazing
you know,
band.
like we were going back and forth with the sound of that record is just unbelievable, the way it was produced and recorded and
Yeah, it's raw.
instruments used and
so loud.
yes,
That was like
hip hop.
And that was actually the first installment of what would later become the Earth, Wind, and Fire that we know. Ralph, Maurice.
first semi-polished.
He had a whole nother group of people on that first Earth, Wind, and Fire record.
That's
It's raw. It's raw.
And even that's raw. You know what I'm saying?
Great. And you crushed it. You crushed it, Nige.
Earth, Wind.
Crushed that.
We usually
that.
we usually do the dance during this song.
Hey,
What's the
Jack.
dance means?
Boom. Do-do-dum. 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 Do-do-dum.
That's my favorite part of every Let Us show when we do the dance.
Say-yum.
You know?
Do-do-dum.
It's just, from this Earth, Wind, and Fire video, I think it's like an 81, the first one I saw, when they all just do this like robot dance. You know, and they just like, they lock it, you know, and like Radine's doing it with the bass, you know, like, and it's just, it's like my favorite part of our shows when we do that. It's so fun.
Verdine White, you are an incredible human being. We got the chance to meet recently. He's an incredible human being, people.
Yes, sir.
Verdine White, thank you for being you, and thank you for doing what you do. The dancing throughout all the years and the bass playing at the same time is unheard of and unprecedented.
What is this? Yeah.
What is this?
Dude.
Listen.
I haven't even heard
It's on
this.
the album.
I haven't heard this. Everybody quiet. Yeah, bro, you're crushing that shit, Zoe. You're crushing that shit.
Yeah, Jesus.
Name is Chaka Time.
All right. Loose. I like that.
Zoid, if you go to, I will Venmo you right now. If you just do an hour-long version of this song, like that, just looping pieces of it, I'll send you money. I just want to listen to that for an hour straight, like that.
How much?
Next up.
Oh, that one.
How about that one?
Yeah.
Stop it so we can talk about Pete Rock, man.
Yo, I was fucking around with some live shows, y'all. There's so many ill fucking loops. I melted my own brain. I had to step out of the room. Walking around the block, it was so funky. I couldn't take it. Like one of these moments.
What's that sound? Is it you?
Yeah, I like that.
Zoe.
I like that a lot.
That's really like a siren sample. That's like not even a sax. That's cool.
Deitch, talk about P-Rock, Deitch. P-Rock, Deitch, what's up? Who is he? Tell people.
What's that?
Everyone go
Say
follow
again?
Pete Rock. Go follow Pete Rock on Instagram
Oh yeah, Pete.
right now.
You know, Pete
Talk
Rock is
about
from
P-Rock.
Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon is actually closer to where Schmeens grew up than where I grew up, but it's literally outside of New York City, and it's real close to both of us. And we knew, about Pete. I knew about Pete super early on, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
But then his instrumentals came out, Pete's instrumentals, and that's what we listened to as a band. When we're in the car in that 6-hour van drive,
Yeah.
instrumentals, What's the record, Zoidus?
VVE, barely breaking even.
But my favorite one is Soul Survivor.
Soul Survivor. That's what I was looking for. Soul Survivor.
Ah, Soul Survivor, yeah.
You put that on, and everyone just.
That's my top 3 hip hop records of all time.
That Deitch for us though, it was Pete's instrumentals when that came out. That validated what we were doing to us in a very cool way. Like we wanted to play that. He made a record of all instrumental beats of his.
Yeah.
He emulated a band.
Yeah.
Very musical. Incredible. Love that beat.
Another genre that gets underestimated, and from music people and critics alike, because there's a lot of electronic things and a lot of samples and loops involved. People underestimate its musicality. So we pay our respects to those whole cultures and that whole world of a movement of music that house music and dance music is. I think that's where this comes from many nights of being out there and hearing it and seeing how dope it can be and how unifying it can be to have a cool house club and have a bunch of people get together and dance. And it's 4 on the floor. Everybody knows where 1, 2, 3, and 4 is. There's not a lot of thinking involved for that part. You can just dance to the beat. No problem. Everybody can get together and do it. So this is our version of that,
Yo. That's it. I'm ready to go.
Album on. De la Viña.
Benny Boom.
What? Yeah, House Select, y'all.
All right, we got one last song of the album left, right? We got Resonate.
Deitch, I remember this coming together at a rehearsal that you got together. You made us do, or you had us.
You know what?
On days off, I like to have optional rehearsals. Like, I'll find a place for us to play. I'll go, whoever wants to show up can show up whenever they want. I'll be there, and Keen's will be there.
That got so deep so quickly, right? That jam was so quick.
Well, you guys were tuning up, man. I was ready to go, and I was feeling a vibe. And you guys were just like, let's tune. And you both started tuning with harmonics.
Boom,
boom, boom, bling, boom.
Yep.
But you guys are so funky, it was automatically a rhythm. It was like, bling, boom, bling, boom, bling, bling. I started hearing melody, and I was like, keep doing that. You're like, doing what? Like tuning. I don't know, harmonics.
Yeah, cool. And it's called resonate. Like, you resonate. We all resonate different vibrations.
That was definitely a resonation.
You can resonate happiness, resonate peace, tranquility. Not just representing tranquility, peace right now, relaxation. Man, the hammock vibe is awesome, dude.
Yeah, bro.
That's what it's all about. That's what the song's about.
Actually, I'm not.
Exactly. Thank God.
Let's go, Zoid. Go ahead, Zoid.
Wow.
Nice job.
Woo! Holy shit.
This dude's sick, man. I'm freaking that shit right now.
DJ Zod.
What is he on, Serato? How is he looping it perfect?
DJ Zod.
Exclusive.
DJ ZK.
And the lettuce in Serato.
X911.
Nice job, DJ Zord. Nice job, everybody. Did a good
Excellent.
job.
Why does Nigel have two cameras on?
It's a cell phone on a computer. He's got two accounts.
And when it comes to the chorus, it's nice and bright and open and majestic and kind of like beautiful. We save the beautiful sounds for when they're really important. So we put some really beautiful sounds in this one. Again.
Yeah, man. Definitely a vibe.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of this record. It shows.
Yeah. The song, there's so many, we go all over the place and stuff.
Both in our maturity and a gelling of we're a band,
We're a real band.
Yeah, for real. Nice.
Everybody had equal parts making this happen, yo.
Real bands are.
It's nice. It's just this record's special because it really goes. Obviously, that's our thing. We come from so many different styles and backgrounds that getting a chance to showcase that on record is just something I think we all enjoy doing. And this record really captures the fact that we are going in all different places without being contrived for the wrong reason. We're really playing from the heart and playing real music. So it's really
and
dope.
being real friends, and
it's great compositions,
like
and it's
real
great.
Bands care about each other in real life. You know what I mean? That's where you can feel the love. You can feel the love and the care that we care about each other. Like straight up, I care about you dudes, and I care about you cats a lot. You know what I mean? That's how I think we all feel, and we check on each other, and you can feel that in a band's music. When I'm thankful and honored to be in this band with you guys.
Yeah. I mean, this represents a time where we were all able to get together, and getting together is something that we love to do and something we're not able to do right now. So, it really makes me appreciate the time that we have had and the times we will have in the future.
Yes. Yes,
Well, much love, everybody. Thank you for doing this. And to all the people out there, get this record, listen to it, stream it, do whatever you got to do. Be a part of it. We appreciate it.
Yeah, respect.
That is what is up, though. That is actually what is up, though.
We hope you enjoy it. Respect to everyone, all cultures.